Hey everybody. So basically this is the second installment in this video series. I was kind of hoping to just live code everything, but as I started to dig into it, I started to realize that it's been a while since I've done a lot of vanilla JS, and there are some little very interesting things that I've either forgotten or never learned to begin with. But let me kind of get started. Basically, if you didn't watch the first one, basically my goal is to really get a. I had built out an application based on the example application, and I want to be able to. Um, I didn't. I thought that I ended up in a sort of a dead end solution. I built a little application that let you set the colors to the background, and it was pretty cool. But like, I don't think you could go very far with it. So, anyways, I'm continuing on, and I'm trying to get a deeper understanding. And I think that the keys to what I want to do are two properties of the speech requisite recognition, and one is continuous and one is interim results. I think if I could play around with those properties, I can build something along with handling the on events. And then so anyways, what I want to do is I want to build like sort of a little tool that I would be able to play around with these things. And I also want to record these things because in the future, I want to see if I run this program again, what results I get in this properties list. And whether we're using WebKit or the normal, what I'm calling normal. So in the index.html, basically I have just a basic HTML page, and it has a table that has a WebKit, and basically it starts off with loading, and a not WebKit, which is normal, which starts off is loading, and they have IDs WebKit and normal. So if you go to the scripts, this is pretty straightforward. Well, okay, let me finish this piece here. So then I also have a properties um, DOM element to update, and I import the scripts. And that's really everything that I changed in here. Um, there's some interesting things that happen in scripts. So the first thing is, so this all works right now, easy peasy. It all works. You can see that WebKit exists, that non-WebKit doesn't exist, and that all of the properties are displayed. Now, interestingly, okay, so if I comment this out, this let, and I make this var, and this isn't really speech, this is JavaScript in general. Yeah, see, that works. We're fine. But if I make this a let, it fails. And this is such an interesting thing to me. Let me see. Do I still have that Chat GPT conversation up? I first of all, I love any kind of error that has the word temporal in it, and so this is a temporal error. And I had asked ChatGPT like, "What the heck is going on?" And basically, um, there's something called a temporal dead zone, and basically, this variable won't exist until the block, except for within the block. So the block has to exist. So um, because of that, this is trying to assign to this, which doesn't exist. So you're trying to assign something into something that doesn't exist. So temporal dead zone. Let has a temporal dead zone from the start of the block until the declaration is encountered. This means that accessing the variable for its declaration will result in a reference error. Okay, so basically it doesn't exist when I try to assign it in this situation. So I wanted to use let. I didn't really want to use var. So I basically declare it as undefined up here, and then um, let it get assigned down here. So it's already undefined by the time it gets to this assignment effort. Um, so that's good. So, anyways, basically I check to see if the WebKit speech recognition exists, and if it does, then I'll return. I'll set this where to exist, and then I'll also check to see if this speech recognition, as opposed to the WebKit speech, exists, and then I'll just update that to undefined. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see in the future if they both exist at the same time. If when this one, eventually this guy will come in, and when that happens, this one probably won't exist anymore. I don't know. I don't. I really don't know what's going to happen. And then when this does, when we finally do get to the point where we're here, um, are these going to be the same properties, and are they going to be the same types of properties? That's going to be very interesting. There may be some new ones. Some of these may be gone. There may be new events. Yeah, just so this will be like in the future if I'm, when I'm playing around with this web speech and like things break or don't break, this will be a great place for me to refer. This video will be a great place for me to refer back to it, run uh, this code, and see what exists and what doesn't exist. So that was one interesting thing that just really blew my mind. So let me go to the console log now, and I'm just going to give this. So I'm going to uncomment this code. So basically, I am looping over each key in recognition, and then I'm creating a table, and then I'm printing out the key in this table. That's how we're getting here. And then I'm also doing this console log. But when I do this, using object and keys shows up, using objects and keys shows up there, and nothing shows. And I had to go to ChatGPT to say, okay, now what up with that? And basically, the answer is that these keys and all that are inherited, and apparently, object.keys only returns the variable, only returns the properties that are declared in it. And let me see. And it's kind of funny because ChatGPT did give me this code. And so then I was just like, hey, this one worked, but this one didn't work. Um, and let me see if I can find ChatGPT is, okay, so I said this one does not work. And it says the reason object for keys does not work is as expected because object keys only returns its object's own enumerable property names. So it's just the ones that were created on that. So they were inherit. Speech recognition object inherits many of its properties and methods from its prototype, which object keys does not include. Um, so that was interesting. I forgot that. I know I knew that at one time, and I definitely forgot that. So that was two sort of JavaScript basics that I got from playing around with this. What I'm hoping to do next time is make it to where, um, like, well, what I'd like to do in the long run is be able to log these at request. So, like, have like check marks next to all the ones that start with on, and then be able to set the ones that are settable, probably not grammars, but be able to set the lang to a string, continuous, interim results, max alternatives to a number. These two I think are booleans, and then be able to have like a little checkbox to be able to say, hey, go ahead and just log and console and show me a log of how these things get called, and maybe like a button next to the start and the stop, so I could start it and stop it with set different properties and log different events and start and stop them. And I think that will really help me get a good grasp of what I can and can't do. And honestly, I think that is this whole project, which I think, what is it called? I called it WSA. But I think that would be a really good little tool that I would be able to use so that I can know exactly what works. Anyways, let's see. I've covered my camera. There you go. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.